Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Oxygen Not Included. I am Dynamite, and today I'll be dealing with germs. Yeah, you heard me right. Basically with bacteria. Now, if you have watched the previous, well, one of the previous videos, we've covered the idea how to clear the germs of Slimelung from the slime. Okay, so basically you make like a chamber like this. We've built this thing last time. I've tried to do the farming as well over here at the same time, but it turned out that you actually need to have temperatures. So I've built like another chamber over here. As you can see, the temperature is actually quite right. But the basic concept behind this was that you needed to put the slime inside, and the slime won't be able to survive surrounded by chlorine. You also needed to have enough pressure so that the slime would not emit polluted oxygen. So this is kind of like difficult to set up, but once you manage to set up this thing, it's gonna be really helpful. This setup is actually a lot more effective and efficient when it comes to the ore scrubber. I don't actually remember what that thing was, but still, like, if you remember, there's like a device called the ore scrubber. Actually, I'm gonna go to the research, it's gonna be easier. Maybe I haven't actually researched it. Ah, there it is. So the ore scrubber idea is that it's gonna clear the germs from the ores, right? So we did this thing last time. This chamber over here, sole purpose is to kill the germs of the swamp biome, right? Because if this thing is gonna spread inside of your base, it's gonna be a mess. Let's put it this way. Speaking of mess, but there comes another issue, because also the Slimelung can get into the polluted oxygen. So if I'm gonna go to the gem overlay, as you can see over here, yeah, this is gonna be a bit of a problem. Now, I like to think that there are two ways to actually get rid of them, and I'm gonna show you those two ways as well today, and I'm gonna show you the same thing with water. So you got this thing in the oxygen over here. One of the ways to actually clearing this thing, as you can see over here, I have another swamp biome that I have already mined out completely. The polluted oxygen is also like a thing over here, but I've built myself the deodorizers. The deodorizers basically take the sand and they grab the polluted oxygen from the surroundings and then turn it into clean oxygen. After that, they just throw out clay with all of that polluted oxygen. So the thing is that the Slimelung's gem, they can't really survive in oxygen. As you can see over here, at the moment there are 14,000 of gems in this tile over here, and at the moment the chain cycle is -8 per second. Okay, so they're dying on oxygen, 29% dead per cycle, right? 29% from this amount. Now, I can't really say this is working exactly as planned, because it goes up, goes down, goes up, goes down, and so on and so forth. Eventually, this thing will die, but it's gonna just take some time. So, yeah, if you don't feel that you want to set up the specific room that I'm about to show you, then just try to dig into the swamp biome, try to mine out all of the slime, seal the swamp biome off, and then just build a few deodorizers around and just leave it, okay? Leave it be, try to focus on something different. Eventually, the germs should die. Though you may actually be stuck with, say, 20,000, 10,000, 6,000, something like that. I can't say that's a dangerous amount, because, yeah, sometimes you're gonna get to a swamp biome that's gonna have the germs in millions and thousands of thousands. So, eventually, yeah, 10,000, 6,000, that's not much. That's actually, I would say, a safe amount. If you still will be scared of this thing, you can always build yourself a medical center and just make a few medicines, and your duplicates will be completely fine. If one of the duplicates will get sick, just click on the door and block him. For example, Meep was sick some time ago, so just select the duplicate and click on this thing. So that means that he won't be able to pass through this door into the swamp biome, right? So if you're gonna catch Slimelung, then basically he's gonna focus on something different and he'll just stay away from this thing. And eventually he'll get cured, even without the medicine. It's just gonna take a longer time. But as soon as you see that one of your duplicates will get sick, just keep him away from that thing. That's why you need to be sure that this thing is sealed off. Because if this thing would spread inside of my base, it could become a real big problem, alright? So yeah, this is one of the ways with dealing this thing. The Slimelung cannot survive on solid objects, so like ladders. They can't really survive in oxygen, and so on and so forth. So, yeah. But what we're gonna do with this thing? right? I could try to put deoxidizers over here, but I have a better idea. And we're gonna use the same concept as we did with clearing the slime. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the clearing station 2.0. As you can see, I've built myself the gas reservoirs over here. And you're probably like wondering, wait, what the heck? You're gonna clear the polluted oxygen in this? Yeah, I know, this is not how it's supposed to work, but apparently it is working. So, you build basically the chamber as you did last time. You fill it up with chlorine to its maximum, as much as you can. Just be sure that's gonna be only chlorine, because if you're gonna mix it with something else, it's just gonna not gonna be that effective. So, seal it off. I've put 2 gas reservoirs. Of course, you can build more if you really want to. And then try to do like some decent actually connections when it comes to the piping. So if you're gonna go to the oxygen pipe, not oxygen piping, sorry, to the ventilation piping, as you can see over here, this thing is connected, right? So it has an input, but it doesn't have an output. If you're gonna try to set up this thing, I kinda like suggest that you make like a veil or something like that, so you'll be able to control the flow. What exactly? Well, of the polluted oxygen, of course. So as you can see, this thing is connected. I want you to follow this pipe. This thing is connected by this pipe system over here that goes to this gas pump here. I've built like an airlock behind this thing, and I still love this swamp for the time being. So as you can see, there is like tons of gems inside of this thing, and now we're gonna pull everything inside. Just the thing is that I like to do to control this thing is to build a power switch. Basically, the concept is like this. You open up this thing, this chamber, you suck in all of the polluted oxygen. This thing, along with the germs, goes to the gas reservoirs in this chamber over here. And once this thing gets full, you cut off the power. So the pump will stop to suck in more polluted oxygen. Once this thing gets clear, you build yourself like a gas veil or just like normal connection. And you take this thing out, let's say, to the room with the deoxidizers. So you're gonna clean the polluted oxygen into normal oxygen, right? And after that you just use it and clean it in different ways. The basic idea behind this thing is that we need to get rid of the germs, because the deoxidizers don't kill the germs, right? They're gonna be like still feel around, and I really don't feel like having 32,000 around my base. So you activate the airlock over here, you connect the gas pump to the rest of the system, and then you just open up this door. You need to actually like select it and click it to open, so this entire polluted thing will go inside. Okay, Rowan, I want you to get out of there right now, dude. Alright, so as you can see, all of this thing is now going inside this little chamber over here. But don't you worry, we got the like proper airlock. Some of the gems actually like managed to get through, but as you can see, this is not like big, like 5,000, 500, 400, 300, stuff like that. So that's like not a problem. I can deal with that thing. This is a different story. So this pump over here is gonna suck all of this polluted oxygen along with the germs inside of my gas reservoirs that we have over here. So as you can see, at the moment this thing has oxygen, 25 germs, polluted oxygen, 400 germs, and they are dying like crazy. Steady and slowly, they are all dying. Like tremendous amounts. See this thing? Already 400, 319, 350. Oh, new delivery, so we got like back to 2000. But don't you worry, it's going down. 2000, 4000 because new delivery. So the gems cannot survive in this environment over here. They just can't. So as soon as those things get filled, because as you can see, I got like those pipes around here. So if the pipe is outside of this chamber, then the germs obviously won't die. So that's why you have the power switch over here. So once this thing will get like to a certain amount full, I cut off the power so the pump will stop sucking in. I wait for those gas reservoirs to empty the piping, and after this thing will get cleared of the germs, I will have to make an output and like take it to an electrolyzer room, so we can clear this thing back to normal oxygen. Now obviously this is like a micromanagement thing, because we have to do this thing manually, but there are certain devices in the research center that you can actually like use to automate this process completely. Like there are detectors, if I could only find them, because I kinda forgotten where that thing was, but I think this is this thing. Yes, so you can set like the detectors to either open up the entire connection of the piping or close off the entire connection of the piping. I'm guessing that if you could try to make like an output and order it to detect certain germs. So once a certain germ is gonna touch the detector basically is gonna seal up the entire piping. So yeah, this is like one of the ways to do it. This is exactly the sensor you need to use. So we have a red and a sensor that goes for the gas and for the liquids, and it either goes green or red depending on if a germ will be detected in the system. The gas reservoirs are getting full, so I killed off the power, the pump stopped to work. This thing is slowly emptying the entire piping connection as well. Okay, the pipes are empty, and at the moment the germs inside are just dying in tremendous amounts. 1,900 and so on and so forth. Okay, so this is how we clear the gases, but you know, I'm kinda like running this colony for some time right now. I got like a bunch of polluted water over here. I kinda would like to clear that water, but oh no! There are germs inside! What I'm gonna do? 500,000 of food poisoning germs. I can't really use this thing for producing food right now because I'm just gonna poison my own food. That's not actually gonna fly. Oh no! There's more polluted water over here. Well, actually water with germs, but still. What I'm gonna do? Well, you could try to boil it. Oh no! That means I have to deal with heat management. That's not really the thing I would like to do right now. I may have difficulties. Maybe I don't have access to an ice biome. What I'm gonna do? Well, first we have to cut for this thing. Just a side note, just so you're gonna know, basically sooner or later you have to level up your digger. So try to have at least one duplicate who is specialized in digging, because you cannot go through Opsalite and I think that was obsidian and that other hard rock. You kind of like need to have this thing, otherwise you'll be stuck. You cannot go through igneous rock, I believe. You cannot go through granite. You cannot go through Upsalite. You actually need to level up your duplicate before you'll be able to go through those materials. So the concept behind the room to clear the water from like germs and stuff like that, as I say, you could try to boil it. Like if you're gonna have like certain devices, there's like a device called, if I'm gonna find that thing somewhere over here to not lie to you, where is it? I'm always have difficulties with the research thing. I should probably, there it is. No, that's not it. Well, crap. I completely lost it. There it is. It's in the liquid tunic. Liquid tapidizer. So basically this thing can boil water. And by boiling water, you can get rid of the germs. That's like one of the ways. The water sieve won't kill the germs. It only cleans the water itself, like from dirty, polluted water to clean water, but would not kill the germs. So as you can see over here, I kind of like scoop myself with this water over here. So I could try to clean this thing. That's not a problem. I just need to build a pump, then make like piping and go all the way here to the liquid reservoirs. They work exactly the same way as the gas reservoirs. Obviously, they are for liquid. So allow me to show you how this thing exactly is gonna go. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna seal this thing over here. High priority, okay. And after this thing will get sealed, the pump will get submerged in liquid, right? So we're gonna have to open this thing. And all of this dirty, nasty water with all of those germs will go into the pump. Then by the piping is gonna go all the way over here to those liquid reservoirs over here. Now, as I said, you could try to use the sensor thing. There is a sensor. I've actually researched it just to show you which one I was referring to. As you can see, there is this thing. The gas pipe germ sensor. That's obviously for the gases. It will detect if there is a certain germ in the pipe. So you build this thing along with the smart whale, and the whale will basically block the flow of resources if this sensor is gonna detect that there is something wrong with it. And the same goes for the water as well. So as you can see over here, there's the liquid pipe gem sensor along with the liquid shutoff, right? So connects to automation grid to automatically turn liquid flow on and or off, right? So instead of that, I have a liquid valve over here like a normal one. So temporarily this thing is also disconnected, like just in case, you know, it's better to be safe than sorry. So how this thing works is that if you're gonna put water either in the liquid reservoirs or in the piping with germs, then the germs will basically die off because all of the chlorine inside. So once the germs die, then I seal off the intake of this polluted, nasty water, and I open up the output of the still nasty, dirty water, but without the germs. And after that, all of this thing will go to a proper filtration of water, and we get turned back into normal water. I'm actually preparing already a tank over here that sole purpose will be to hold the clean water away from any possible dangers. So I'll be able to use that thing for making food and other things that actually will require clean water. I mean, you can use dirty water in your bathrooms because I don't think like anybody really cares for that thing. But yeah, if you want to have clean water, then this is the way you're supposed to do that thing. So the pump is already like working. The dirty water is getting transferred by the piping into my liquid reservoirs over here. And as you can see, at the moment this thing contains 400 kilograms of water and over 90,000 of germs. But as you can see as well, this thing is dying like crazy. So once all of those things will get more or less full, the only thing for me to do is just flip this switch over here, which is connected to the liquid pump over here, and the liquid pump will stop sucking in all of the polluted water. I'll wait for the germs to die out, then I open the output and we transfer all of this thing into like a proper filtration device, which I can use, for example, this one over here. And after that, all of this thing will go to the clean water tank. Just remember that do not mix the clean water without the germs with the water that has germs, because your entire work will just go to shit, right? If I'm gonna try to make something, I need to be sure that I won't mix this water with the germ-free water. Like I could try to mix it with this one, but do not mix it with this one, because you have to go through the entire process of filtration again. And just to show you how this thing exactly is working, so I open up the tanks over here. So now the polluted oxygen and the clean oxygen that we have sucked up from this room, all they go to this clearing room that I have set up over here, and basically they have to go next to the deodorizers. So the deodorizers are taking all the polluted oxygen and they are cleaning it back to clean oxygen. And if like a clean oxygen would just go out through here, then they're gonna ignore it and just let it through. So yeah, with this simple thing, I got myself a new supply of oxygen using this dirty, nasty, full of germs oxygen from the swamp biome. I'm turning this thing now into clean and fresh oxygen for my base. Yeah, it's a bit of a problem with the pressure, but that's actually okay because, you know, just in case my duplicates will have time to resupply this thing with sand, because you need to have sand for the system to work. Sand is basically used as a resource to clean the polluted oxygen back to clean oxygen. And of course, I could try to use like sensors, so I could try to maybe seal this thing off completely, make like a proper gas pump, make sensors around. So if the sensors would detect that there's a polluted oxygen coming, they would just seal off the passage, seal off the piping, and wait for the duplicates to actually bring in new fresh sand for the cleaning process. And so back to the water. One of the liquid reservoirs is at the moment full. It contains, if I understand this thing correctly, 5 tons of polluted water, and in a matter of seconds it's gonna contain exactly 0 germs of food poisoning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 80 germs, 50, 30, 20, 10, 3 to 1, and 0. This water is now free of germs. Now the next tank will get filled, of course, with a new supply of germs, and so on and so forth. So after all 5 of them will get filled, you flip the switch, you cut off the power for the liquid pump, you then open the second section that this thing will go to the proper filtration system, and you're gonna have yourself a fresh new delivery of clean water. So yeah, this actually took me quite a while to explain to you, but I actually hope that you find this system useful. And yeah, chlorine, like one of the best resources in the entire game. So using the old scrubber, terrible fucking idea. Don't do it. Don't do it to yourself. Find yourself like a proper usage of chlorine using those devices as I have presented over here. So yeah, feel free to check out the Oxygen Not Included forums on Clay Entertainment. You'll find like a bunch of other really cool ass stuff that you could try to build inside of the game. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna leave this thing as obvious. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked the episode, please subscribe a lot. I'll see you all in the next video.